Hello, discerning podcast listeners. This is Tom Kenny, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
You are now on the inside of what I like to call the circle of trust.
We are all connected in the great circle of life.
You know something, Bert? What? I think you and I are going in circles.
It feels like we're going in circles.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Because it's a circle.
Yeah, we heard about the circle.
Yes, we're familiar with shapes.
Hi, this is Chuck.
This is Greg.
And this is Dan, and we are Talking in Circles, sponsored by the Geekcast Radio Network, the podcast where I do not know how to schedule things correctly. I say that today because we have an interview for this episode. Unfortunately, I did some incorrect scheduling, so it will only be me that you'll be hearing. I had the opportunity to interview with Bill Karalius from the Sketches Animated Indiegogo project. We talked about that and a few other things. But before we get to that interview, how was your Thanksgiving for you guys?
Thanksgiving was great. Got to see the whole family. Very long, busy day. Going to 2 dinners. I think, Dan, you said you did that as well.
Yeah, 2 dinners. One's for my family, one's for my wife's family. So we had turkey lunch and then turkey dinner. So that's the way you roll. How about you, Greg?
I'd rather ham over turkey, but
really?
I'd much rather ham. I'm a pork guy. I like porking.
You're such a ham.
Thank you. But mine was good. I didn't have to go to as many Thanksgiving dinners as you guys. I only had one with my dwindling and moving around family. It was just me, my brother, my mom, my dad, and my grandma.
Nice. Yeah. Well, if I fall asleep, I apologize because, I was very tired with all the food we've had, and so much so that we went to movies that afternoon with my nieces and nephews, and I fell asleep to the entire thing. So
I have only fell asleep to a movie once, and then as soon as I woke up, we left that movie.
It was pretty bad when I wake up and I see the credits rolling. I'm like, wow, I fell asleep through most of this. So
I just got up. It wasn't even the credits for me. It was just the middle of the movie. I'm like, this movie sucks. If I fell asleep to it, I'm leaving.
Well, I can't speak to that, but we saw the Penguins movie of Madagascar, but it seemed decent enough for what I saw. I was just really tired. But besides all that, there's a lot of trailers dropping recently. Before we get to the big enchilada, one of the biggest ones, one of my first...
I had enchiladas for lunch today, just saying. It was a very traditional Thanksgiving meal.
Enchiladas and ham, right?
Yes.
That's the way to go.
Traditional Thanksgiving leftovers.
With a side of
Halushka.
Rice. Shawarma. One of my favorite movies of all time is Jurassic Park, and begrudgingly, there's a new movie coming out. But the trailer was released, and maybe my feelings have changed. I'm kind of curious what you guys thought of the new Jurassic World trailer.
Well, I think it's great because it's essentially a sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy because they do have Star-Lord in it.
They do. And maybe Rocket Raccoon is in one of the...
Groot plays very prominently as he's all over the place.
A lot of Groot, yeah. What did you think of Guardians Galaxy 2, also known as Jurassic World, Jack?
I think it looks good. I, like you, am a big Jurassic Park fan, and I'm also a big Chris Pratt fan, and for some odd reason... had no clue he was in this until I watched the trailer. That's how much I pay attention. But no, I mean, it's just a short little teaser trailer, so obviously they're not showing too awful much, but it looks like they've sort of taken the park and made it even more like commercialized, and you see like, thousands and thousands of people there, like it's this huge tourist attraction. It's not just like a exclusive thing like in the other movies.
It's Harry Potter now. It's Harry Potter World.
With dinosaurs.
It reminded me of like the boardwalk in the summertime.
Yeah.
There's just like, oh, there's some dinosaurs over there. No big deal. Let's grab a hot dog here.
Some ancient monsters. Not New Jersey people, but actual dinosaurs. But yeah. What did you think of the last image of Star-Lord or Chris Pratt with his little bit of raptor army?
That was crazy. I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know if there's something that they're more interested in than him?
Yeah. Why aren't they biting him?
Or is it like, maybe they're scared of motorcycles?
Maybe.
I don't really get that, but
maybe he was raised by raptors and they see some ass.
That's actually his father in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's really a raptor.
It's a galactic raptor.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Galactor.
I mean, I was a little worried when I heard genetically altered dinosaurs because I don't know if you're way back when they showed like concept art of what those could look like, and they were like dino men.
Yeah, I saw those too. Yeah,
gosh. Please don't do that.
They looked like that wasn't there like a
the lizard.
It was kind of like the lizard, but there was like I remember some cartoon or toys of like not the Dino Riders, but they were like dinosaurs dressed up in like armor and like GI Joes. It was kind of crazy. So I hope they don't do that. I don't think they are, but
no.
Like if a dinosaur talks, I think it might be we might have some trouble.
It'd be awesome if they took like the size of I know brontosauruses aren't actually real at this point, but what's the equivalent? Like have that crossed with like a T-Rex to make an even bigger T-Rex
with really long arms.
Yeah. So then it actually just turns into Godzilla.
that's really it's just
I'm very impressed. You said that Brontosaurus doesn't exist. I didn't realize you kept your finger on the pulse of the paleontology world.
I do. I am so up to date. I'm like a 2-year-old that has internet access.
There's a lot of ways to take that. But
I know that, the Brachiosaurus is real. I believe that's one of the other ones that's really big, right?
Yeah, and isn't there like a Megalodon or something?
Well, Megalodon is a big shark.
That's the one in the water, the big shark.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how about
welcome to the Paleontology Podcast
with Dr. Ross Geller. Speaking of which, how about that scene with they had the shark hanging up the thing? It was like SeaWorld, and that huge thing comes out of the water and just squalls it up.
Now, was that a megalodon? Because it looked like an alligator kind of crocodile type of thing.
I think there was something different.
Yeah, I think a megalodon literally just looks like a regular shark that's really, really big.
Oh, okay.
There's a name for this thing, and I can't remember what it was.
If only my 4-year-old self was here to tell me all the names of the dinosaurs.
Because I remember watching that Discovery thing, Walking with Dinosaurs, and they showed like there was a T-Rex on the edge of the water or something getting a drink, and this thing just fucking jumped out and like ate it. I was like, holy shit, what could do that to a T-Rex?
That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so not much to go on, but we'll hopefully see more soon, and hopefully that pans out. But the other really big trailer, of course, that came out recently, movie like people have been waiting forever for, a lot of anticipation. A lot of people really want to see this movie, and of course, that
Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good,
really
Bad Day. This really stinks. Why can't anything ever go right? Dan just backed away from the microphone because I'm taking a really, 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 really long time. Sequel number 2 that Greg fell asleep to.
Well, that, or actually, what I was going to go for, the more, the one that has probably one more rapid fan base, of course, and that is Pitch Perfect 2. That. Which my wife was very excited for when she saw that trailer when we were in, I forget, singing the Hunger Games, and that came on. It was a spiritual moment for some people, but no, the other one, of course, is Episode 7, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That's been long awaited.
It's a teenager and overslept.
That's kind of funny. I saw like it was like a fan trailer. It's like the Force Awakens trailer, and I clicked on it, and it was showing Yoda sleeping, and then the alarm came on. It was beeping,
and then Darth Vader's in the corner snoring.
It's a teenage boy that overslept. The Force Awakens with a blanket around the bottom.
But the actual trailer itself, it's come out. So, what did you guys think of the new Star Wars trailer?
There wasn't really a lot to get from it. It's just kind of what's the word I want? Like a collage of like different images, I guess you would say.
Yeah, like I think we mentioned before, it was just like an extended poster, really, because it's like, here's an image of what a poster could look like. Here's an image that could be a poster, and there's a little bit of voiceover, but not much. No one's really saying much beyond just the ominous voiceover. So
yeah, you're not getting any real big story here, or any kind of semblance of what it might be.
Yeah. What about you, Chuck?
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like, there's not much to say other than what you guys did, but I would add that I liked how they sort of had the opposing settings. Like they show like a guy in a desert.
Yeah.
Then they show like the wintry. It's almost like Hoth, but like a forest, like with snow and everything. And what's with that goofy lightsaber with the two things coming out, man?
It's defective, I guess.
It was so impressive when you see the first part of the lightsaber come out, and then you see these two little tiny little. Pew, pew.
They were the baby ones, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what we did see, I love the image of the X-Wings, like, on the water flying. Like
that was awesome, yeah.
And then also the Millennium Falcon was kind of, like, right behind it. It really got the sense of how fast it was moving and how death-defying some of the moves were going to be. It's very updated on that.
Yeah. I mean, the special effects look, and I liked how they seem very much like the first trilogy, not like, the prequels, which was so digital and nothing looked real.
Yeah. I also felt like this kind of had a little bit of a horror vibe to this trailer. It was kind of dark, the way the cuts went through, and the kind of ominous music kind of gave me this feel of kind of like Star Wars crossed with a horror movie almost.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Well, like they said, they turn evil, so. Yeah. But no, yeah, I think there's certain qualities that they share. But.
I definitely noticed, like, particularly when they were showing the one pilot of the X-Wing, I think it was. Yeah. I mean, it really looked like the original trilogy, like, just the way they did it. Like, I don't know if it was costume design or just the way that they enhanced the imagery or whatever, but like it looked modern and the effects looked modern, but it still looked a lot like the old one, if that makes sense. Like,
the framings of the shots were like the same kind of cockpit shot of them flying around and like just the logos and stuff, and
guys looking very fat with their faces stuffed into those helmets.
Yes.
Porkins.
Porkins. Oh man, I feel bad for that guy. Not really. He was in Star Wars, so what can you say? But yeah, that. And what did you think of like you see small glimpses of the new stormtroopers? Did you like the way they looked? They're a little bit different, but
you mean he's black?
Not that guy. Not the actual stormtroopers.
They've made some advancements in their culture.
But
no, I think that they look cool. I mean, the one shot to me looked exactly like the originals, but I mean, you could see they're a little bit different, but as long as they're like, they look more like the old ones than the clone troopers.
Yeah. They look like actual people exist in a world. So, but yeah, that definitely looks really interesting. So super excited for that. Just have to wait a year. So this is probably the only images we're going to get. This is it. We're probably not going to hear about it until then. So
is J.J. Abrams a stickler with his releases and stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. Though this has moved already because originally it was supposed to come out this summer and got pushed back to December. So I doubt it's going to get pushed back any further. It got pushed back, I think, because of Harrison Ford hurting himself. So,
that sucks.
But at least I think that was part of it. But I'm pretty sure it'll come out at least next December because I don't see them moving Star Wars for any other reason. But you never know.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of movies coming out next year. We got this, Avengers. Well, I guess Batman Superman's in 2017, but
Ant-Man next year.
Yeah, so a lot to look forward to. But like I mentioned early on, I had the opportunity to sit down with Bill Karalius of Sketches, the animated series. They're currently having an Indiegogo project, so we talk about that, just some other voiceover work he's done, what he's been into, and it's an overall really fun discussion. So we're going to take a break, get into that interview, and then we'll be back with Chuck, Greg, and myself rather shortly. So we'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Every week on the In Session Film Podcast, you can expect to hear reviews on all of the latest movies, big films, small films, and everything in between. We'll also do top 3 segments relating back to our main review. We discuss all of the latest movie news and rumblings, as well as have movie series and other fun segments. And we always talk about the films that we're watching and why you should watch them or not watch them as well. If you want to learn more about the In Session Film Podcast, check us out online at InSessionFilm.com. You can hear our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, and so much more. In fact, you can listen to everything we have straight from our website. Again, that is InSessionFilm.com. Download our podcast, check us out, and come join us every week. We'd love to hear from you.
Like animation? Come listen to Animation Aficionados. And if you disagree with us, you could be a guest on a future show.
Available on iTunes, the Zune Market, and animationaficionados.com.
Welcome to a very special episode of Talking in Circles. Today I am solo, kind of. Greg and Chuck aren't here, but it's okay though. But today I have a very special guest for you. Yes, our third interview. We had none, and then suddenly they're all coming in. It's really great talking to some awesome people. But today I'm getting opportunity of speaking with Bill Karalius. I am saying that correctly?
That is correct, man. You nailed it.
I practiced it like 5 or 6 times before we started the interview. So
see, it's confusing. If I just took out the I from the last name, I feel like it would be a little easier to say. But no, it's a Lithuanian last name. We got the I in there, throws everybody off. But no, it's.
Well, I did have a cheat sheet because I listened to your Indiegogo video for what we'll get into shortly, the sketches cartoon series that you have coming up, and luckily you say your name in there, so I'm like, okay, I have it here, so I know how to say it out loud. So. I can't take all the credit. I can't.
Oh, okay. So now you're putting the blame back on me. Okay, fine.
I'm more so thinking more of the credit.
No, that'll work too. But yeah, thanks again for having me on. I'm really excited about being here with you. You'll have to send the other 2 gentlemen my regards as well. But we'll hold down the fort. I think we'll do a good job here. So we'll rock and roll.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to talk in circles with 2 people, maybe an extended line, but still, we'll find a way. But yeah, so I did want to welcome you to Talking in Circles. And like I mentioned a little while ago, you're coming in to mainly talk about a series that you have currently a project on Indiegogo called Sketches, the Animated Series. Do you mind just giving like a brief overview to our listeners to what that is and what they could look forward to if they go onto the Sketches Indiegogo page? And
yeah, we're really excited about this one. Sketches, the Animated Series. It is a cartoon created by Stephen Chitty. I could kind of get into some of his other work, what he's known for kind of later on. Well, actually, it's kind of funny, though. I don't think anybody will really know just yet until the movie's actually officially released. But it's the animator Stephen Chitty. He has a few ideas going on. One of his big ideas that he's been having, for a while was the Sketches animated series. It's just, I can't even explain it. It's so cool with like just the different types of characters and all kind of meshed together. Basically, from the gist of it, it's just kind of a bunch of characters just trying to get by day-to-day life, living in pretty much an artist's sketchbook. I mean, the animation style and the sense of humor is kind of a nod to those really nostalgic 1990s cartoons that I know I personally grew up with.
Yeah.
We're talking like, your Rocco's Modern Life, your Angry Beavers, your Hey Arnold, you name it, because that's the stuff that all of us, kind of on the team were influenced by growing up. Now, me personally, I'm not an artist. I'm not the artist. I mean, I could draw you a stick figure or something, but I'm one of the voice actors on board and kind of the producer that does a lot of the behind the scenes, boring stuff. While Steven gets to do the cool drawings and get everything organized. But no, we got a great team put together. If you guys go on the Indiegogo the Indiegogo sketches page there, you could see a lot of the characters, what they look like. You could hear their voice actors, with their names and everything are on there in the video. A lot of our patrons are kind of wondering, or potential patrons are wondering, what kind of cool perks do I get out of this campaign here? Well, we got a lot of cool things, ranging from a invitation to a private production page on Facebook where you get to see everything firsthand. Like, once we're working through the storyboard and we're getting all the characters polished and a few changes in animation style and a few, clips of, finished animation, everything, it's going to be going straight to that group and nowhere else. And, and until later on. So, I mean, it's kind of like your firsthand, if I want to see how this thing is going along firsthand, we got a lot of people putting their money towards that perk. We got a few high roller perks as well I don't know, if people really, really feel like, like they're getting a lot for Christmas from Santa and they just really need something good to spend it on. I mean, we have a few perks where your actual likeness will be used, as a character in the series, which is kind of cool, like being, you are going to be an extra or a, minor character in the series. And the big one is kind of more of you're going to be a small recurring character with your own lines and your voice is going to be used and everything. And, we have people to direct, from the voice standpoint. We're not short on voice talent, that's for sure. But yeah, it's really cool. Like, if you want to be a legit cartoon character that's a recurring character, I mean, that's that's the big money perk for the big money spenders. But I mean, either way, you know, we're just trying to raise funds to get this series off the ground. We want it to be free to watch. You know, there's a lot of good websites that we could put it on. You know, it's obviously YouTube. That's the big one. I think that's where everyone's going to be going. But we also kind of want to put it in a bunch of other different places too. I know DeviantArt's a nice spot. Newgrounds, Vimeo. You know, there's a whole bunch. But that's kind of our game plan. But yeah, no, that's for the most part, that's what we're trying to do. And, you know, the money that we're trying to raise is specifically going mostly towards getting Stephen Chitty the stuff that he needs to actually make the process go much more efficiently. Because, I mean, I don't know how the heck he's been able to do the stuff that he's done with such outdated equipment and an outdated computer. Because, I mean, his style of animation is so awesome, and his work is always really high quality. But the whole point of this is like, you know, man, Stephen, we need to get you. I mean, just imagine if we get you a nice tablet. Holy jeez. I mean, you're going to be going, you know, real fast through this process. I mean, it's just going to save a lot of headache for him, you know, because we got a nice tablet we want to get him that, you know, like I said, just really speeds up the process and would get episodes out a lot faster. Because granted, he's still one man. We're trying to get other folks, you know, talented individuals on board to assist where needed, but that's also where a lot of the money goes towards as well. Yeah, so, I mean,
So, yeah, when you talk about like 90s animation, you're in the right wheelhouse, because that is, you know, stuff that we love. We're a big fan of that. And seeing that animation, I do see where you're coming from with that, like the quirky type of sense of humor that was there. Even in that short little video that you get for the promotion, you do see it there. So
I don't want to turn the table on you here, but I got to ask, what's you know, since you're talking 90s cartoons, what was your favorite growing up?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of funny, because a few episodes ago we had this thing where we tried to create the ultimate Saturday morning lineup.
Man.
So with the death of Saturday morning cartoons as we know it, so that was tough just doing that. And I had, like, you know, 10 choices, but the favorite, well, I mean, the, you know, 90s superhero fan of me is going to probably gravitate a lot towards that of the X-Men series, you know, because I am a, you know,
that was like the coolest thing around when that was out. You know, that's, everybody was all about that. So I don't blame you for picking that one.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people I know that when they talk about getting into comics, getting into X-Men, it's usually that series is a big part of it. I know, like, it's one of the key bonding parts between Chuck, Greg, and I. We're all big fans of that series.
That's why you guys are best friends forever. You know, just that's if that's the glue that binds your friendship, then that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's adamantium glue, so it's really strong. But yeah, I also, beyond just that, I mean, I was a big fan of Bobby's World, you know, during that time. Anything really Disney animated, like the DuckTales, the Rescue Rangers, you know, all that.
See, that was actually like one of my little mental note talking points, since I know we're going to be talking in circles here. But I mean, I'm getting back into my old, you know, NES games and stuff, and my all-time favorite, like hands down, was the DuckTales game.
Oh yeah, and they just, I think, recently came out with like an HD update to that.
Oh yes, they did. I got it for. I mean, I have not. You know, I'm my day job. I'm a public accountant. I spend a lot of time, you know, buried in tax returns and stuff. But you know, the one game that I bought over the past few months was the DuckTales, you know, HD remastered thing. It was just, oh man, it was so good. Like, it was a huge nod. I mean, it was pretty much the original game, but just totally revamped, a ton of fun to play. I mean, I could, you know, I got my fill out of it, but now I kind of want to go back and start playing the old NES games again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm similar to you. It's tough for me to play video games, mostly because my wife's like, you spend too much time doing that. So.
No, never.
No, I'm just joking. It's more so they're expensive. I guess maybe I'm cheap. It's like $60 for a game. That's a lot of money. But yeah, I do get some nostalgia just playing some of the old games on my cell phone, you know, getting the emulators and, you know, playing, like you said, DuckTales is a fun one. I even Rescue Rangers had a fun game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but wasn't it nice back then when you bought the game, that was the entire game? No, you know, there was no DLC or add-ons or you can play this, but if you want, you gotta pay for the subscription to this. Oh man, it's just, you know, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying that, but I'm still, you know, I'm sure that if I started playing those types of games, maybe I would be able to understand a little better as to why it's so awesome to get all that extra stuff added on. But man, I gotta have a lot more birthdays during the year if that's gonna be happening, because I gotta afford it.
Yeah, you need like more. We need to add another Christmas because it's only like an 11th month holiday as it is. So let's put one in June, and we can use that as a reason to buy.
Yeah, well, I
stuff.
mean, seeing as everybody's already in the Christmas spirit by the time August or September hits, I mean, might as well throw another one in there. Get it going. I mean, once it hits October and all the pumpkin spice craze, we just jump immediately to Christmas. I'm not complaining. Hey, me and my girlfriend, we just decorated her. Her place for, it's funny because when this thing comes out, it's going to be, in the middle of December. So I guess it won't sound that weird. But right now, when we're recording at an undisclosed time, we already set up our Christmas decorations, and we do not regret. Okay, the tree isn't ready yet, but everything else is.
You gotta get like the tree's kind of tough, especially if you go real tree, because if you get it too soon, then it's like dead.
We're having a few guests over, so it would be really, really weird if we had the tree out already. So that's fine. We'll hold off. But no,
see, like my wife is all about decorating for Christmas too, but we made a deal like we don't decorate until after Thanksgiving, and then we go all out. So she's a big fan of the fall, so she kind of holds on to that until that's finally over, and then it's like, okay, now we can get into Christmas stuff. So
I'm assuming you actually experience a fall where you are.
Yeah, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. So I used to be in Scranton, PA, and that's the best thing about Scranton, and there's not many. It had an awesome fall, but in Baltimore it's more like mild summer, and then ice season, which we call winter, because we don't get much snow. It's a lot of
just ice.
Ice.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the best thing to come out of Scranton was that paper company there,
Dunder Mifflin, of course. It's pride of Scranton. I mean, yeah, that's the best thing about that show. That was when I tell people I'm from Scranton, they're like, "Oh yeah, from The Office." Didn't know that was
no way.
City. Yeah, exactly. And I say I'm from Baltimore, they're like, "From The Wire." I'm like, "Yeah." So apparently, I where I live is dependent upon it's having a show. So maybe next I'll move to wherever Breaking Bad was located.
Yeah, no, that's up to you. I mean, I don't think actually. Yeah, funny thing is, where I am right now, it's Tallahassee, Florida, and we got a connection here. Just hold off. I'm going to tie it all together. There was that one boss in the office, the one lady who when they bought out the company, she was from Tallahassee.
Yeah, she was,
and that's where they were. So see, no, I mean, just boom, talking in circles, full circle, got a connection right there.
Perfect. Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Talking in Circles.
We should just drop the mic and walk away. Might need to do that.
Done.
But kind of like circling back to cartoons, you mentioned that like you're big in the 90s, DuckTales and stuff like that, and you yourself you mentioned you being a voice actor. So do you have any, like, if you could go back and try to do the voice of one of your favorite cartoons from the 90s, does anything come to mind?
Oh my gosh. I mean, hands down, Rocco's Modern Life. Like that.
Nice.
I mean, although I don't remember too much of it, I mean, I was born 1990 on the dot. Like I said, I grew up watching those shows, just kind of all embedded into my brain. I mean, obviously Rugrats was the coolest thing on the planet and, everything. But yeah, Rocco's Modern Life. I was lucky enough to have the pleasure to speak to Mr. Joe Murray, the creator of Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh, wow.
I used to do one of the radio shows and stuff like that. So we had him on as a guest. He was really, really cool. But if I could go back and, if I could audition for those types of things, hands down, Rocco's Modern Life. And funny thing is, Stephen Chitty, although he isn't a voice actor in any of his animations, I guess minus his own personal animation of himself, he does a really good Mrs. Big Head impression.
Nice.
Oh, Rocco! I mean, I can't even do it. I mean, he does a much better job. But,
wow.
Oh, man, it's so funny.
When you go back and watch that show, you almost like at times surprised, like this was for kids, because some of the stuff that they are able to do, it's like, wow, that's really. I mean, it's really interesting, just like out there. It's kind of crazy. It's like that and like Ren and Stimpy. They're different, but there are times where like, wow, I'm surprised they got away with some of this stuff.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, thank goodness I was so little where I didn't understand, half the jokes aside from like the slapstick stuff. But going back, I mean, even Joe was telling me about. Do you remember there was a superhero on Rocco's Modern Life? It was. Really, really big nipple man, I think was his name. And like there was this whole stink with Nickelodeon Studios. They're like, there is no way, they're going to let us, use this guy. And like they had like daily updates every morning, like with corporate. And they're just like, what's the nipple update, every day. And finally they're just like, okay, fine. We'll let you, for there was like some technicality where, since I guess like on the male body, nipples aren't a big deal or something like that. It's like, okay, fine. I guess we can do that. And Joe was like, I was actually pretty surprised that they let us do that, but we ran with it.
Nice. It's like Nipplegate before Janet Jackson. So, geez, they were ahead of the game.
Yeah, no, it was like the Nostradamus of the 2000s.
But you yourself, you have had opportunity to do different voice acting. I know you did some for video games and stuff like that. Is there any of those, those past where kind of stand out to you? Like,
Yeah, no, I love like a lot of the projects that I've worked on in the past. The thing about voice acting, especially kind of more on an internet-based level, because I'm not the kind of person who's doing stuff for, one of the large networks or anything, although I have had the pleasure to work with a few, former Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network people on their own independent projects. A lot of those projects, they end up falling through and stuff. That's why, me being, doing this through the internet, I have so many opportunities. And if something doesn't come to fruition, fine. There's so many other projects, but I know, one of the really, really fun projects that I got to work on, it's called A Night to Remember. And it's one of those games that, it's like a flash game that's on PC. You could go on to, newgrounds.com or any of those other video game, just play at work. Because obviously people can still get away with playing at work. But yeah, I play the main character in that, the hero. He's like, he has amnesia, this whole thing, just wakes up and starts fighting everybody, and nobody knows why they're all fighting each other because they all have amnesia. Oh, so wow. I think one of the quotes from that was, obviously, I don't remember. A dragon's not going to keep me out. It was really fun.
Wow,
it was a short game.
You've upped the voice acting level of this show very much so, because on occasion we do this skit which is really well written by Greg on our show, and we do lend voices to it, and I'm awful. I am horrible. I can barely talk normally, but Chuck and Greg are pretty good. But gotta say, you got chops. You got chops there.
Yeah, I mean, and I gotta tell you the main reason why, and I mean, I could thank all my buddies from freshman year of college for this, but we had a friend of ours, coming into freshman year who hadn't heard of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh wow!
I mean, obviously he's heard of it, but like he hasn't he didn't know anything about it and stuff. Yeah. So, what's the best way to get somebody a crash course idea of Dragon Ball Z? A, you got to find them stupid videos on YouTube that show like the funny things. But B, you got to play the original Budokai on the GameCube. Nice. So that was kind of like my friend's crash course on it, and he just thought it was so ridiculous, and it was just so funny, and all day we'd be imitating the characters. I've been doing a Hercule voice, and he'd be doing like his little Frieza voice, and it was so funny. Like that was like my entire freshman year, and we were trying to like, wow, you know what? I'm actually, you're actually pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at this, but that kind of sat in the back of my mind for a good few years. Then I got into some radio stuff. Not sure if you're familiar with the Ghost Hunters International series on Sci-Fi Channel. My buddy Scott Tepperman, he was one of the Ghost Hunters on that show for a good 2-3 years, right until they stopped doing the series. So he was he sunk with the ship, but good friend of mine up here, we still live 2 minutes from each other here in Tallahassee, but we did a radio show together for a few years. Then one day I just woke up while I was in grad school. I'm sitting there, I'm looking over, I'm like, yeah, I got my microphone from when I, did all these radio things, and I'm a little bored because I mean obviously I don't want to do tax research all day. I'm going to drive myself insane.
Yeah,
so I'm like, I wonder if I could do some cartoon things, because I'm just whatever. So I auditioned for a few things and stuff like that, and I mean, funny thing was they kept coming back to me and saying, okay, I want you to just use this voice specifically, because I would send them different files. I'm like, that's just my normal voice though. And they're like, yeah, no, that's perfect. That's what we're looking for. Like, so I kind of had that realization, like, son of a gun, I sound like a cartoon character. Just naturally, this isn't good. But then I learned to accept that and just kind of use it to, see, yeah, because I mean, I didn't know how to take it at first, and I embraced it, and got a lot of cool opportunities. And I mean, one of the ones that came out recently this past year was the Lego Justice League Gods Among Us movie on YouTube. I mean,
yeah,
I honestly had no idea that I was in it because I received a script maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Some gentleman said, "Hey, I really liked your voice in this one project. Can you be the Green Lantern in my project?" He just sent me a script. I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." I just recorded the stuff, sent it off to him. Never heard from him again. And I was just browsing through YouTube. I typed in my name, and then I'm seeing, what's this Lego thing? It's like a 25-minute, well, now I understand why it took them 2 years, because it's like stop motion Legos. That takes a long time. It's not, whatever. But I was the Green Lantern in that. It was a lot of fun. Funny thing was, like I said, I didn't remember even doing it. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Some people walk in their sleep. Some people voice act in their sleep. So
you just because when you do so many of these things, you're having fun with certain projects. You just kind of forget that you do some of the other things.
So I got to ask you the question: who's a better Lego Green Lantern, you or Jonah Hill?
Oh, Jonah Hill, hands down. Now, if it was who's better at preparing taxes, me or Jonah Hill? Probably me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Maybe his character in Moneyball, though. I mean, he's a pretty good mathematician in that, so. It depends.
Darn, you're right. Crap.
What we're saying is Jonah Hill can do anything.
He's pretty talented individual. I wouldn't be surprised if he could do everything. So I mean, I'd rather not find out. But
that's gonna be kind of cool though. Just knowing that you lended the voice to an actual superhero, even if it's the Lego version. That's gotta.
Yeah, I actually prefer the Legos now. I walk around in the Toys R Us. I'm like, maybe I should get one of those Green Lantern Lego keychains over there. I kind of because right now it's sitting out on YouTube. It's got like about 350,000 views, and it's kind of neat. I mean, I like seeing projects like that become successful. I think my first major YouTube video that I voiced in was a BioShock Infinite spoof. It was, I guess I can't say it on radio. It's a bio.
Oh, you can say we. Believe me, it's hard to top some of the stuff we said. Well,
yeah, it was bio blank. I can't say it. Infinite, and it was it was a really funny really funny kind of spoof on the BioShock Infinite thing. I played the voice of Booker. I mean, it sounded nothing like the actual Booker, but it was again one of those little animated parody videos. That one actually took off pretty quick because there's like some. I mean, again, I don't know too much about Let's Players, but there was this guy PBat or something like that, PBat Games or something. He's got a bunch of subscribers and everything, but he was a personal friend of the animator, so he was just like, "Hey guys, this is kind of cool." All he did was like it, and then we had like 100,000 views.
The power of the internet. It's one tweet can kind of launch an entire career. So
yeah, well, the only problem was that later on he took it down. I guess enough people were kind of like, "Yeah, no, these spoofs aren't fun," but and this was what kind of was really funny to me was that they took that video and somebody else did a Spanish dub of it. So like somebody was playing me in Spanish, which was kind of funny.
Wow.
But yeah, overall, I mean, it was just, stuff like that, sometimes you don't even realize it, but these things can just kind of, behind your back, just turn into something pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you said often like you're doing your own voice, but on occasion, have you been able to create a voice for a character? And like, what is the process of trying to do that? Like trying to make a voice for someone?
Well, it's when you kind of understand what each creator or director is looking for, they'll kind of give you an idea. They say, well, I'm kind of looking for something, medium to low. Yeah. I want to hear how you sound when you say these lines. So, I mean, basically all they give you is 2 to 3 sentences. You record them and they'll get back to you like, oh, this is pretty good. I think we're going to go with this one, or I think I'll get somebody else. And that's fine. I mean, it's just some. You can only do so many voices unless you're Frank Caliendo. But it's
or Fluffy, or there's those people that man of 1,000 voices. Yeah, that's very true. So, are there any particular? You seem like you did Green Lantern, the video games. Are there any type of characters that you find that you're better for, or the ones that you gravitate more towards, or do you kind of just run the gamut?
I kind of find myself being more of the hero character than the villain character. I mean, I can't complain, but a lot of times I'm really not cast type as a as a villain in a lot of those projects. I've never really cast as the bad guy. That could change down the road. I don't know, but I'm just not. I'm a very happy person in general, and that doesn't really come across. I mean, I could be angry. I could sound angry. If you tell me to sound angry, I'll do it. But I just don't have one of those. I can't get that menacing.
Yeah.
I just can't. And
I can understand that. I taught for a while, and I can also not get menacing. So it's just like trying to be authoritative, and it's like, yeah, it's not. They're not laughing. Yeah, they're laughing now. All right.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah, a lot of it is just, can you turn it on, turn it off? Because I mean, I've known other voice actors too, and everybody has their own way of doing it. I mean, I have people that'll take 20, 30 minutes to warm up and breathe and practice, and then actually record the lines. I mean, all I do is I sit my butt down in the chair, click record, read the lines, do what I need to do, and boom, it's done. It'll take me like 2 minutes to do. But again, everybody's different, and I think that's kind of why I do pretty well with a lot of the projects. Is, I mean, I could be sitting on my computer, they'll send me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, can you record these lines real fast?" Yeah, I'll get them to you in like 5 minutes, and then boop, send them over, and they're perfect, thanks, and then they'll work on their end. So a lot of it has to do with accessibility, and that's the other end of it.
Yeah, so basically just, you keep going out there. I mean, I know we have some people that have expressed interest in like going into the voice acting field in any, form whatsoever. Is that you think the biggest thing is just going out there and trying to do it?
Because I mean, again, you have no clue until you start auditioning for those types of projects, and then people, they'll come back to you and they'll give you good feedback. Like that was kind of the first thing that I remember is, I mean, I got pretty solid feedback. Everyone was saying you definitely need to get yourself a pop filter because every P you say is hitting the microphone. Oh, geez, I haven't really thought of that.
Yeah.
And just other little things, and a lot of sometimes you're not the right fit for the character, but you can only do so much. But I mean, it was kind of, I mean, I would say for people that are trying to get into it, good practice, and this is what I see a lot of folks doing is fan dubbing shows that already exist, and that's I mean, a lot of times these dubs, these fan dubs that they put on YouTube and stuff actually are very successful depending on what they do. And then once you kind of get more comfortable, you can branch off into doing like a bridge series and stuff like that. Because one that I'm a part of, that's I did this a while ago, and I'm still a part of the team after must have been like 2 years or so, is the Mega Man Bridge Warrior series. I play, actually, I do play Dex. That's a pseudo villain as of the first episode, but then he's kind of the comic relief. So okay, fine. We're getting there. We're taking baby steps here.
But yeah, you just got to ease your way in. That's the way to go.
Yeah, but that actually turned out to be a pretty nice series. I mean, I think the first episode has 200K on YouTube or something like that too. So a lot, like I said, you just never know. I mean, there's some really, really good projects that, just didn't get the view count. I'm like, whoever did it did a great job. Surprised, but again, you never know. It's just clicks and shares, and that's how it all goes down. Just like Indiegogo campaigns. Boom.
Yeah.
We are talking in circles again.
So, can you think of you mentioned like those projects that you felt that were really good, maybe didn't get the clicks or the views that they deserved? Can you think of ones that you've worked on in the past that maybe people should maybe seek out that have not got the recognition that you think they are worth a watch or two?
Oh, I mean, I would say first of all, the best one is that video game, and I to remember its first day on Newgrounds, it won one of those awards, like the number 2 highest rated or whatever for the day or for the week or something. It was an immediate hit, but the thing is, after it's off that front page and kind of gone, it just kind of falls to the wayside. Nobody really sees it. So what Yoeri Stahl, his last name is Stahl, not Stahl. He explained to me the difference. Stahl is the Amsterdam pronunciation. Stahl is the German pronunciation for it. He's from Amsterdam. He's
so one you can smoke weed with, the other one you can't. It depends, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he does over there, but I'm in the States. But he's he's a really talented game developer. I think what he wants to do now moving forward is put the games on iTunes and the Android, Google Play Store and everything like that. So he's got the tools to kind of move those from the Flash PC game platform over to mobile platform. And A Night to Remember is a very addictive game. Very short. Like you could play through the whole story in around 10 minutes. And, it's got a really cool twist at the end, but son of a gun, these things take forever to animate because every single movement, it has to be drawn out over and over again. And he showed me the entire picture of just pasted each single separate drawing for each character on there, and it's huge, just for just the battles with each other. Crazy stuff. And that's why I give so much props to people like Stephen, for taking as much time as it takes to get to get his projects moving and getting those things done, because it ain't a walk in the park. Animation
it's impressive, like over maybe the 10 years or the last 15 years or so, kind of the revolution we're seeing, where indie artists in like all fields are really getting the opportunity to kind of do their thing. You don't necessarily need that that studio behind you. Obviously it helps, but the capabilities with technology, and it's insane the stuff you see that is available in something like Sketches, which would be available for people for free. It's just you can watch and get so much nowadays and not pay for any of it. I think it's hard to even really appreciate just what we have today.
Yeah, and I would say one of the biggest influence on at least my thought process when we would discuss, why we want this thing to be, free, for people to watch is, one of my biggest influences going back was homestarrunner.com. That stuff was freaking awesome, and it was free to watch, so. Yeah. Why not, try and, do what we liked, if, it's just, I just feel like it's the right thing to do, because either way, and I feel like people are learning this more and more every day is, even if you try selling it, if somebody wants it for free, they'll get it for free.
Yeah.
Whether it's a video game or music or movies, that's the unfortunate reality. And that's why, the movies are kind of, I know the movie business is taking a huge hit. Speaking of movies, since we're kind of rounding out the circle here, I mentioned that Stephen Chitty's a part of some interesting projects going on. Well, his most recent major project is going to be distributed worldwide through a movie distributor. It's he animated the whole 3-minute or so opening credit sequence for Fat Chance.
Oh wow.
Now, Fat Chance is a B horror film. It's, one of those kind of lower budget horror films, but great distributor. Again, it's going to be, all around the world. It's going to be sold in, Walmarts and other stores that are similar to that. A lot of cool names, like Al Snow was in it.
Nice.
The wrestler, Brie Olson. I know she was, I think she was like the Human Centipede 2 or 3 or something, and she was Charlie Sheen's girlfriend and like a Playboy model or something. Since it's a horror movie, I'm sure you know why she's in it.
I can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I'm sure. And obviously, Mr. Scott Tepperman, a close friend of mine. That's kind of how we got them all introduced. And Mr. Jim O'Rear. Jim O'Rear was in the original Day of the Dead movies. The original Day of the Dead movie. When was it movies? But no, the original movie. And he's in that one as well. And he was one of the co-directors. And again, great people. Daniel Emery Taylor was in that. Return of Swamp Thing. It's a really cool cast. I like it. It's a really funny movie. They got a lot of overweight individuals. It's kind of like Biggest Loser meets Friday the 13th. There's a lot of slasher stuff, and it's so cool.
That is a cool. I gotta say, I'm just happy to hear that there's a an opening credit sequence, because those are becoming a thing of the past. So
right, yeah.
So that's awesome. I just hearing that's actually a thing people are doing, because I'm myself, I'm a movie fan first, probably the thing I enjoy the most. And at the end of each year, I try to do like an award for best opening credit sequence, and they're so few and far between anymore. You have James Bond, of course, but like nothing nearly as much as you hadn't in the past. It's just like, you can't grab people's attention. You gotta, force it right in there, so we don't really get those. So that's really cool just to hear that he's doing that.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking about the other day. I was watching the Cabin in the Woods again. It was literally just boom, the thing popped up on the screen, after an opening scene. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you
go. Yeah, people, obviously you have like the Star Wars and whatnot, but it's, they come here and there, like, with the Oz film that came out last year, had a really great opening credit sequence. It was probably one of the few films that had one last year, and it was actually one of the best parts of that movie, which is very cool. So you said that's going to be available.
Yeah, they rebranded the name, the movie company, the distributor. They changed the name from Fat Chance to Camp Massacre, or for some reason the name just apparently appeals more to, I guess, people around the world. So yeah, that's the new name. So don't look for Fat Chance, look for Camp Massacre. It's gonna have Brie Olson on the front cover with a machete in her hand, and Al Snow on the left, and then some random girl on the right side who is not anybody in the movie. I think it was just like a stock model lady. So whatever.
Nice. Whatever gets the job done.
It was just so funny though, because it's, you have Al Snow's name and he's on the cover. You have Brie Olson's name, she's on the cover. And you have Scott Tepperman, and instead of Scott Tepperman, who is just your average guy, you got like some hot chick instead. So okay, Scott just looks better apparently on the front cover.
Yeah, hey, it's amazing what they can do with CGI nowadays. So,
yeah, I always heard the camera puts on 10 pounds, but I guess takes off a lot more.
So I was also kind of curious, because as someone you work a lot with these projects, you're mentioning those as like part of Indiegogo, Kickstarter, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed recently, last few years, kind of started with like Veronica Mars, and you've even seen Zach Braff kind of using that as a Kickstarter as something for their films. How do you feel about that when you have some of the bigger names kind of using the same thing? Do you feel that helps something like Sketches, or does it kind of overshadow them and kind of gets in the way of the smaller indie crowd?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the purpose of, these crowdfunding sites are for people who are trying to start something up. I mean, when you're an established, actor who, obviously gets paid millions of dollars to do what you're doing, and you're trying to, crowdfund something for a few $100,000. I mean, I'm sure you could just do it privately, but from the perspective of wanting to get your audience involved, I mean, I think that's more beneficial to, the bigger names than anything.
Yeah.
Because again, not only are you, getting money, I mean, that's kind of a, nice benefit to it. You're raising funds to take care of what you need to take care of, but you're also understanding your market as to, who would be interested in your movie or your, or your project or anything like that before you even do it or before you even complete it, which is, that's also beneficial. That's kind of a built-in thing. So when you see, these, and I'll give you a good example. This was a project that I was, helping out with last year. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this one, but it's an RPG called You Are Not the Hero. Does that ring a bell?
I am not. My video game knowledge is null. So,
okay, no,
sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter campaign, not an Indiegogo campaign. I believe Don was his name, the creator of the game, was looking for, I don't know, between $6,000 and $8,000 to raise money to get this video game off the ground. It was a RPG maker game about you being an NPC, and you're just trying to avoid the heroes, and they're doing their own thing while you're trying to help out the town. There's no combat system or anything. It's all like really it's really, really cool. I did the voiceover for their campaign video. It was really, really funny, and I'm also going to be narrating at least a small part of the video game itself when it comes out, but it's going to take a while. So, yeah. Okay, like I said, $6,000 or so they were looking for, ended up raising about $100,000. You just, wow. you don't know until, you launch the campaign. It's, like I said, it was just really, really cool. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people thought that the idea was cool. They got a kick out of, the video. They got a kick out of, the game itself, what it stands for. And yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just you can never prepare for that type of thing. You can say, exactly. You're going to put yourself in a good position. You're going to try and put some time in, figure out some cool perks, or make the page look nice and make a cool video. But at the end of the day, I mean, hey, there's a guy who was raising money for potato salad, and he got $67,000 to make potato salad. I mean, hey, you don't know. You have no idea. It could also been
really good potato salad. So
yeah, I mean, geez, like Gold Flakes or something. It's pretty good. So I mean, yeah, that was one of the more successful projects that I was a part of. I mean, I'm glad Don can kind of take a step back and just work full time on the game, because he's got his work cut out for him. It's going to take a while to get this game done, because with all of the stretch goals that they hit, they're going to expand the game. They're going to make all these customizable, pieces to it. They're going to be they're going to be formatting it to play it on PC, Mac, and Linux. And, all that stuff takes time. and they're gonna make better graphics and stuff. They're hiring artists, and I mean, geez, the game is the game is going to be awesome. Like I said, it's going to take a long time before you get like a solid demo out and everything.
Yeah. Do you though feel like sometimes if you have that level of success, is there almost kind of a repercussion to that where it's like so much pressure now that you have to live up to because now you have to deliver compared to what you were expecting? Does it put like an extra level to that wasn't there previously?
Yeah, I'd say so. You're seeing it's like, wow. I mean, a lot of people are believing in us and believing in this project. Geez, I don't want to let them down, So you got to give it 110%. But sometimes it's that extra kick in the butt that you need to get you, to get you to do it right. And I know it can be discouraging sometimes when some campaigns are, they don't meet their funding. I mean, right now our campaign is sitting at about 11% of our goal with about 40 some odd days left to go. I mean, it's, we're off to a little bit of a slow start now after, we kind of had a big jump the first few days, but at the same time, you can kind of, you figure out what you can work with and, you go from there. But again, when you have 10 times your goal, it puts a lot more pressure on you than when you meet your goal.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Yeah. I guess you'd rather be 10 times than 10 times more than 10 times less. So it's a juggling act, I'm sure.
Yeah. And a lot of people, aren't prepared for the tax implications.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my expertise comes in. And I could, at least kind of point them in the right direction and where to go. But,
the day job kicking in,
Yeah, big time.
I'm sure for Superman, being a reporter helped him out in some ways as Superman.
Probably, it helped him take more pictures of Spider-Man.
Exactly. He was good at that.
I know. Two different universes, but still.
Hey, they cross over occasionally.
And a lot of fan art they do.
Yeah, a lot of yeah. There's some worse crossovers or some strange things there with fan art.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
But so you mentioned you have that project in the future. Anything else coming up in the future that people could look forward to?
Yeah, I mean that Abridged series, the Mega Man Abridged Warrior series, that's still going on. Right now, due to my my job and everything, right now, I'm kind of cutting back on projects. I'm keeping it to like a handful of of really, really good ones. I would say the next big one coming out would be, obviously Sketches, and we also have another project in the works, probably by about 2 years from now, after we're done doing the pilot episode for this campaign. But also, I'm going to be doing more work with Yoeri Stahl over at Stahl Media. On a few other video games. One thing that he wants to do is Cloud Wars, which is actually, it's an award-winning game, won a few awards overseas and in the States. I'm going to be doing all the voices of all the clouds in that game for the HD version on the iPhone and the tablets and stuff. And, it should be cool when it comes out.
Oh,
now,
very cool.
The thing too with a lot of these independent games though, and this is a darn shame, is you have people from other countries and stuff who obviously legally they don't care, they're not bound by anything. They'll take these games that are flash games that are on the computer and they'll upload them onto iTunes and try selling them, and the games don't work and stuff. And when you get in contact with Apple saying, hey, this is my game, they say, yeah, we're going to need more proof than that. You gotta, whatever. And they'll just give you the runaround, because I'm sure they get thousands of emails a day where people are saying, well, somebody counterfeited my app, or somebody counterfeited my game and turned it into an app or something. And that's a shame. So that's why, we're, taking the game that somebody else, stole, and we're going to make it better. And then we're going to put it on, and, it should be awesome, because the original didn't have any voices or anything like that. And it was, standard def. This one's going to be shiny new and, pretty nice.
I mean, that's going to definitely be frustrating when you work so hard on something and then someone's trying to not only take your credit but ruin your name in the same. That's got to be frustrating.
I mean, that's probably how Huey Lewis felt when the Ghostbusters pretty much took his riff.
Yeah. Every day he's like, what I'm going to call? I'm going to call my lawyer. So.
I don't think they still won that case yet. I know they're still pushing for it, but that's a shame. It's all right. I'm a big Huey fan. I give that. Okay. That's one guy I listened to a lot growing up.
Nice, yeah. I mean, he's got a good case. It's like Queen with Vanilla Ice and Under Pressure. It's like
that's okay. That's even worse. Yeah.
Even they freely admit it, but yeah, we're getting close to the end here. So can you just go over one more time where people can find all the stuff for sketches and where they can go and donate? And
it's pretty cool. We got a whole bunch of different places you guys can get in contact with us. Obviously, you can go on Indiegogo.com. You go into the search button, just type in Sketches. We are Sketches, the animated series. Like I said, a lot of cool perks. Check them out, and definitely show some support. We really appreciate it. Even if you just spread the word, it means a world of difference. Because like I said, at this point, where we're just trying to get this thing started. I know not too many people know about it, so we're just trying to get it out there. You could also get in contact with us on Facebook. The public Facebook page is it's a good name for a studio. It's Constipated Samurai.
That is the best kind of samurai.
We just hit a milestone. I think we hit 1,000 fans. I think just yesterday or today. So. We're celebrating a little bit, but we're still focusing on the campaign. But Constipated Samurai, that's the Facebook page. But those are the two major things. Again, from all of us in the production team, we really appreciate y'all's support. And anything counts if it's $1 here or if you want to get a certain perk and you put in the support to get the perk, or even if you just tell your friends about it. It's going to be a really cool project. It's going to be a nod to all those 90 cartoons fans, and y'all are going to love it. I'm excited. Everybody's excited. Now we just want to get this campaign out of the way so we can just start working on the thing.
Definitely. I could, and I'll put all the information also in the show notes at geekcastradio.com. And it's coming up near Christmas time, so you want to get gifts. Well, this is a gift that we'll keep giving because it'll be free on YouTube for everyone. So definitely go there, support them. I think it's great to see people go out and actually try to do something on their own and really do all the work. And I think people should get rewarded for that type of stuff. So definitely, and it looks great. It looks fantastic, and I would really want to see more of it. So hopefully, I really hope the best for you guys. So
really appreciate it. We're excited to get this thing underway, and we want to just keep it up. And oh man, we just. And for those of you who want a gift that keeps on giving, look at the most expensive perk on there, and that gift keeps on giving because you'll get to be a recurring character in the darn show. That's pretty sweet.
I know. I mean, a lot of people would love to be a cartoon character. So, I mean, I'd probably be a cartoon character, but I don't think you'd want to use my likeness. But that's
you already seem like one off the bat, so you're not too far from it.
I don't know if that's a good or thing or bad thing. Like you said before, it's like your voice sounds like a cartoon. I don't know how to take that. So.
Open to interpretation. We'll save that for another episode. But thanks again for having me on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, hope you enjoyed that interview. And like I mentioned, I'm going to put all the stuff for Sketches, the animated series, on the episode post at geekcastradio.com. But there's also other ways to get in contact with us. You can email us at feedback@geekcastradio.com or live at talkingincircles.com. You can mention us on Facebook or Twitter by searching Talking in Circles GCRN. And Greg, what is your Twitter name?
You can see my Twitter handle is @TheCreateForge, where you can see all the Funko retweets that I do.
Yeah, you get 2 in 1. You get to follow Greg and Funko at the same time. And I'm at Movie Revolt, and Chuck is not at Twitter.
At his house. Right
You can follow Funko in spirit of Chuck. Or Marvel Legends, maybe.
Yes, Marvel Legends.
Nice. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great holiday season and gearing down near the end of the year, so we have a lot of fun things planned. But that'll be end the episode for this week. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, same podcast feed. But for now,
this has been Chuck.
This has been Greg, or Chris Pratt, the Velociraptor Overlord.
And this has been Dan, and that's the best title ever. And we've been Talking in Circles. We'll see you next week. I want to be a Velociraptor Overlord.
You're overqualified, Dan. I'm sorry.
Really? Overqualified. I need to be on. I want to see Chris Pratt as the character from Parks and Rec, which is the Velociraptor army attacking people from Moneyball. So.